I'm Sergeant First Class Floyd. There are two initiatives I want to put in front of you for 2017. They involve training, discipline, and professionalism, though perhaps from slightly different angles. They both fall into the priorities of readiness and resilience. First, let's share our combat experience, good, bad, and ugly. We are still engaged in the longest armed conflict in U.S. military history, conducted with an all-volunteer force, a significant precedent in U.S. military combat history. With such a volunteer force over such an extended period of time, along with the ongoing drawdown, we see increased turnover in our ranks. We also see a lower number of deployments to combat zones, with lower numbers committed. Consequently, soldiers with valuable combat experience leave our ranks, and we risk losing the hard lessons that they've learned. So, for those of us with deployment experience, both in NCOES theater and combat operations, we must pass that along. Going farther than conducting the basics of MOS training, this means taking the time to explain and demonstrate how those skills come to bear in combat scenarios. It means teaching judgment and decision-making alongside of task proficiency. It means mentoring lesser experienced soldiers on the value of adaptability and situational awareness. It means offering guidance on how to turn experience into intuition. In short, it means drawing on your personal experience in the realities of war to make better your fellow soldier and prepare them for their turn. Do this with every chance you get. Second, let's spotlight basic professionalism and discipline. The Army as a whole continues to move towards being a more professional organization. Basically, this means a greater emphasis on continuing education and professional development, without sacrificing tactical proficiency. It allows the Army to be more selective on those they recruit and those they retain. And again, the drawdown makes this even more true. We've all seen NCOES standards tighten down recently. Don't be left behind because of missing schools, and push yourselves and junior soldiers to stay current on their NCOES. The other side of this coin is discipline. To quote the 2013 Army Ready and Resilience Report, over the past decade of war, our focus on preparing units for combat operations, short dwell times, and personnel turnover have allowed our leader skills in the garrison environment to atrophy. Our junior leaders must be capable of conducting monthly performance counseling, using leader books, and conducting in-ranks inspections, all of which are necessary skills for engaged leadership capable of enforcing Army standards and discipline. I know this to be true. I'm a fan of getting back to the basics when it comes to D&C, military bearing, and developing disciplined soldiers and leaders. Staying well-trained, well-educated, engaged, and personally connected to our fellow soldiers ensures that readiness and resilience will increase. Time constraints forces us to prioritize what's important and invest more of ourselves than in the past. We must do this. But through all this change, General MacArthur's words still continue to remind us that our mission is fixed. It is to win our nation's wars. Everything else in your military career is but corollary to this vital dedication. We're all busy with more coming all the time, but certainly we can find some time during our drills and AT to underscore a good handoff on combat lessons learned to soldiers of all ranks and emphasize discipline and leadership as the bedrock for continuing to improve what we already are, a highly professional, remarkably adaptable, and resolute force, simultaneously lethal to our foes and effectively supportive to our citizens.